You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win every way. You showed me how to spread my wings.
Oh, you just can't help but dance with that. Oh, looks like Mayor's maybe having a little bit of technical difficulties. So while he joins back in, just good morning, everybody. Happy.
Are we ready? Are we ready?
There you go. He's got your connection back. Go ahead, Mayor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
To a beautiful morning in Rutherford. My name is Jimmy Dancy, mayor of this wonderful town. And tell him your name.
Jackson.
This is Jackson with us, and tell him how old you are.
3.
Jackson is 3. So welcome to Beautiful Morning. We thank you for joining us each week. The 15th, the October. And so thank you for joining us each Friday morning as we continue to bring events to you each week. Doug does a great job as we continue to do this. We normally today would be in Aquinas Park, but Doug's got a special program for us. And Doug, I'll turn it over to you. Let everybody know what's happening this morning.
Well, good morning, and we do have a special program signed up for today. So, like the mayor said, we would have normally been down at Kiwanis Park, but we just felt like this was a much more important opportunity for us to bring you a Beautiful Mornings today. And so today we have some very special guests. We have our candidates that are running for town council seats later this fall. So actually, November the 2nd will be election day here in Rutherfordton, and our polling place is at 289 North Main Street, which many of us around here affectionately call the county annex or the county office buildings. It's where the county commissioners meet up on 289 North Main Street. But starting actually yesterday and is open today over at 298 Fairground Roads at the Board of Elections is the one-stop voting. So we'll go through some more of the one-stop stuff, but one-stop voting is open today from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. It'll be open. It's not open on the weekends, but it is open next week and the following week after, prior to the elections. And then the first week in November, the only time that you'll be able to vote will be on that Tuesday at the county annex building. But with that, we are excited about our town council candidates. This year, the mayor's seat is up for election, and we have 2 council member seats up for election. For those 2 council member seats, there's been 2 folks that have filed for election there, and the mayor has filed for re-election and is running unopposed. And so with that, we really wanted to have an opportunity to just kind of allow you to get to know your candidates. Obviously, we have a few questions that we've used from many years over the terms of election season to ask the candidates to give you a better feel for them. And we'll have a little bit of fun this morning too. But I want to give a little bit of time this morning to just allow the candidates to introduce themselves. And so I thought maybe we would go from our junior candidates through our senior candidates, and that's no reflection of age by any means at all. But I thought I would give Miss Doris Crute the floor first. Let her introduce herself. She is probably the new face for those that are related to the town, but if you've been involved in anything going on in Rutherfordton, you've got to know Miss Doris. So Doris, good morning, and tell us a little about yourself, maybe why you're running for council and your platform.
Thank you. Good morning, Doug. Thank you so much. My name is Doris Crute, and I am running for a candidate for the town council of Rutherfordton. I've been at Isothermal. I'm retired. I've been at Isothermal for 27 years, enjoyed every day of it, and I still send students down there. That's one of my hearts is Isothermal. I'm an active member of my church, St. John AME Zion Church in Relafordton. If you're looking for a church, come by and see us. We're open early, 9 o'clock, so come by and see us. I'm involved in my community as well, in New Hope especially. We have a nice little group called the New Hope, Martin Luther King Committee of New Hope. We're kind of active there. I'm very proud of our youth leadership program. We take the students all around Relafordton, the landmark areas, just to let them see how different organizations, different landmarks, different history of Relafordton. I think if we're going to live in Relafordton, we need to know about our town. So I'm very passionate about our youth program. I'm also a member of the Relton County NAACP. I hold a position there as the secretary, and I'm also the secretary of the African American Heritage Museum of Relafordton. I need to put a plug there behind the fact that we're having a great Black church exhibit to this weekend at the Muddles Bible Camp in Lake Lure. I don't want to chop that name up, but we'll be up there in Lake Lure this weekend, so we pray that you can join us there. So I'm kind of like very active in my community and outside the community as well. But the reason why I am running, my platform says I'm standing in the middle for you. That means to me that I want to be a part to listen to the citizens of Relafordton, their concerns and issues. And I like to be a part of the team that's currently going on with the town council, the mayor, and the manager. Just sitting in with them recently, I have learned that they have a heart for Relafordton. I have a heart for Relafordton, and I want to see that continually to grow. So I just hope that, go out and vote for me. I stand strong on what I believe in, and I'm pretty sure you'll be okay with me. I'm pretty sure. All right. I'm very active. I need to let you know that too. And I can go on and on talking, so I'm going to give it up to Doug and let him do the next one.
Well, the good news is we have plenty of time to go on and on too. So thank you, Doris. Next, I'd like to introduce Stan Clement. Stan is a current council member, has been serving, I believe this is the end of your third term, Stan, or fourth? Third. So welcome, Stan. Good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to everyone. As Doug just said, I'm Stan. I'm a lifelong resident of Rutherford. Rutherford has been my home since the day I was born. So I feel passionate about Rutherford. A place I want to see be very successful, continue to grow and develop as it has over the past few years. Interest other than town council, I'm a member of First Baptist Church of Rutherford, been a member since 1960, served in various capacities there, everything from chairman of the deacon, Sunday school director, Sunday school teacher, on down to just about every committee you can think of at the church. I've served at some time over the years. I'm a long-term member of the Rutherford Kiwanis Club. I've served as past president of the club and continue to be an active member there. Doug mentioned historic preservation. Historic preservation is probably what got me first interested in town government. I was a founding member of the Historic Preservation Commission when it was formed here in Rutherford about 15 years. So I've had a lot of experience working with the town, and would like to continue to do so. As far as my platform, it's let's keep going. We made a lot of progress in the last 12 years, but we still have a long way to go to where we'd like to get to. So hope you all come out to vote on November 2nd or before, and hope you'll cast one of your votes for me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Stan. Many of you know, obviously it's Beautiful Mornings with Mayor Dancy, so he probably doesn't even need an introduction to himself, but nonetheless, and saving the mayoral position for last, Mayor, good morning, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. And Doug, thank you again for getting us on the air. Magnolia for working with us and getting us every Friday morning. I think this is an asset to our town and to our citizens. A lot of you already know me, but there may be some people that do not. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, because I think in these leadership roles, the person comes out in the way that they handle business in their town. And I think it's important to you to know exactly what kind of person we are. Personally, for me, I'd like to tell you how I got here. Then I want to finish up by telling you why I got here. First of all, how I got here. After being discharged from the military, Ginger and I settled in her hometown in Virginia. While we were there, her dad helped me get my first public job there into her town of Galax, Virginia. We lived there for 2 or 3 years, and then my company decided to move us to Rutherford County in the mid 70s. So we have lived here since the mid 70s. I have actually worked in 3 different towns, to include Forest City 3 times. And each time that I've worked in a different town, the company allowed me to still live here. They normally like for you to live in the town you work in, but we knew this was home. So they allowed me to stay here, and I drove back and forth. And in fact, Ginger had a job at the time, and she had an opportunity to transfer, as I've had to transfer, an opportunity to transfer outside a lot. But we have always decided to stay in Rutherford, and glad I did. I have been on the town council for 20 years. The last 12 has been as mayor. So it's been quite a experience for me. It's been a rewarding experience. Now I'd like to briefly just tell you why I'm here. I think it's important, as I said, to know the concept of how we got here. I was raised in a very small county, in fact, one of the smallest counties in North Carolina, up in the northwestern part. Very rural. In fact, we only had one town in the whole county. Grew up there, obviously high school, went on to school, and but I remember going back. My mom and dad was factory workers. They were there, seemed like all their lives. I spent a lot of time after school and summers with my grandmother and grandfather. My grandfather was a farmer, so he was a worker every day. And he allowed me to live part of that life growing up with him. I can still remember those. This dates back my age, but and that's no problem. Proud of it. I remember those days, early days when I was small, maybe a little bit older than Jackson. He would pull me behind a team of horses on a wagon that did not have wheels. It was like a sled. That's what the wagon he used on his farmland. And he'd pull me all over that farm on the backside on that large wagon where he'd haul stuff behind those horses. Remember working in the fields with hay during the summer. Just remember doing a lot of stuff with them. My grandmother and grandfather did not have driver's license. So that meant my grandmother would take me walking trips. And I learned to walk at a very good pace at a very early age. But it was a learning experience, because she would take me to places, the old home place of her family, and it educated me on my history. And that was a great part of learning to grow up in that atmosphere. Even my mom and dad had a small farm. It was a very small farm. We had animals, but it was mainly for us. One thing about Magnolia, you'll be interested in this. It always puzzled me. My dad had 2 gardens, and my brother and I worked in those gardens, seemed like all the time. And I once had enough courage to ask my dad, why in the world do we have 2 gardens? He pointed to one garden, said, that's the garden we live off of. Then he pointed to the second garden. He said, that's a garden where other people can live off of. And they were welcome to stop there anytime and get produce out of that second garden anytime they wanted. So I learned a lot early about that second garden, how important it can be in the community.
Mm.
That was a very learning experience for me from the very beginning. I have carried those learning experiences on to Rutherford County. I can let you know with all confidence, I am a doer,
Mm.
not a pointer.
Yeah, I am too.
I am involved, and there is a big difference between doers and pointers. I am involved with anything that I possibly can be in this community. I try to instill that in Jackson with the great leadership that he has from his mom and dad. Gigi and I try to give that same leadership to him, make him see the people that work in this community. He has been to fire department, to our police department, met our policeman. He meets the mailman. We've been to the public works building. He knows all those guys over there. We go out and he gets to wave to the recycle guy. I want him to learn exactly what the true working people of this community do and know that they are the lifeblood of this community and our nation. In fact, he is taking it to heart because recently his mother asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up. Now, this morning he said he cowboy. But that day that his mother asked him, he said he wanted to be a worker man. Proud moment in my life to know that he has realized what worker people do for a living. That is the reason, if you ever see me, you'll see me as a doer, not as a pointer. Thank you. I hope you go out and vote. Extremely important that you express your opinion, and that is a perfect way to do it. Thank you, Doug.
Hey, Doug, you're
Yeah,
muted.
yeah, there we go. Thank you, Mayor. And I'm actually going to let you answer the first question. You already maybe answered it with one of the words for sure. So tell us 3 adjectives that you would use to describe yourself.
Humble, appreciative, and thankful.
Mm.
All right, Doris.
Mary, you're so kind. I'm a doer. I'm a very real person. I don't play when it comes to business. I'm very real. I do have fun. I'm an encourager. I do like to encourage people. It doesn't matter who you are. If I can help you, I will.
Awesome. Stan, what about you?
I would start out with experienced. As I've already mentioned, I'm completing my 12th year on the town council. So that obviously gives me some experience in what I'm doing. Matter of fact, come December with Gary Cobb elected not to run for re-election, I'll be the senior member of the town council in terms of years of experience. I'm committed. I'm committed because this is my town. I mean, I was born here. I was raised here, been here my entire life. And I'm committed to Rutherford being a success, continuing to grow and be the best place it could possibly be. And for my third one, I would have to say flexible or adaptable. One thing you find out very quickly when you're on town council is you have to be flexible. Things don't always go the way you think they're going to go. Whatever you think's going to happen probably won't, and what you never imagined will happen might pop up out of nowhere. So you have to be adaptable and adjust to the situation as it occurs.
You're absolutely right on that, and that's not just for town councils. I'm sure from the staff side, Magnolia and I would say the same thing. All right, so let's start this question with Stan. Stan, what projects are you most excited about? Either the things that you know about that are coming through the pipe, or things that we're doing that you'd like to see continued. What are a couple of projects you're excited about?
As far as current projects, the thing I'm most excited about is the town's effort to get more affordable housing. That's something we desperately need. People need a place to live. And we have several projects going. Of course, if you go out South Main Street, look across from Cowan Tire at Park Crossing, they're building apartment units like crazy up there. Going out the road about another half mile and turn right on John Smith Road, and new development would be all affordable housing coming in there. So I'm real excited about that. That will give more people a place to live here in the town of Rutherford, and it will help increase the town's tax base.
Doris, what about you? I know as a shameless plug, Doris is also a participant in our Citizens Academy this year, and so that has been kind of a tradition for some of our candidates to sign up for Citizens Academy, and we definitely welcome and encourage that. But Doris, what are some of the things that maybe you've heard about that you are excited to see or be a part of?
Thank you again, Doug. Yes, that Rutherford Citizen Academy has been really a learning experience, and I've been telling folks about it, and I just hope that they become a part of it. Two things that I have learned from the Citizen Academy and from being on some of the town council meetings on Zoom is that urban community development. New Hope is my area. Naturally, I'm going to be strong there. And Fairview is just across the road, as Magnolia was trying to show us last night. It's just over the hill. Those two areas I'm very strong of, and I pray that we can get those to become fruition for our communities. It's well needed. It is awfully well past needed. The housing that Stan was talking about, the housing development that we're learning about for the John Smith development, I think that's another needed area. That would be a positive plus for our community. We was talking last night about people moving into our community, and that's another area where we can say small town friendly is a place to live because of the affordable housing that they're bringing in. I told the story last night to Magnolia in my community in New Hope, across the street from the St. Gabriel's Church. It was an old house there, and they housed the teachers in our community that taught there. And she was mentioning about other projects where they wanted the teachers, the workforce right there in John Smith. And I said, you know what, Magnolia, we done that over 60 years ago, maybe even longer, housing our workable employees so that they can get to work. And so I really favor those projects that we're talking about.
It's amazing how everything comes back full circle.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Next thing we know, lime green toilets are going to be back in. Mayor, what about you?
Well, I agree with everything that Stan and Doris talked about. That gets me excited. I get excited when we have opportunity to talk about possible projects in the future. That's always exciting to be a part of that upfront planning, and I get to avoid some of the work that you and Magnolia has to do about trying to get grants to pay for those new ideas. But from my point of view, seeing it on paper and what we want to do and know what it's going to mean to our citizens, that gets me excited. But one other thing, it is a big shot. Now we're talking about COVID here pretty soon, but in my arm is when I get to go around and visit and talk to our different departments and see those people. And it's a reinvestment of our community each and every time I see them and talk to them and hear what they're working on, what they've got plans, what they've accomplished, and see the smile and enjoyment in their faces as to what they are doing. I was up on Main Street this morning picking up Jackson about between 6:30 and 7. We had crews on Main Street setting out our potted plants on Main Street out there in the dark, but up there doing it. Had an opportunity to talk to them because one of them's daughter is a friend of Jackson's in school. So it's a great a great experience, and it's a great excitement to see those people out working and the accomplishments of all of our department heads that are great leaders in themselves. That's exciting to me when I can see them in action in our community, and I thoroughly thank them each and every day.
Well, one of the things from town council, and you've all touched on this, and this kind of echoes true for the work that we do, inside of town hall and even outside of these walls. We're always doing this for our citizens. We work for the citizens, and we're trying the best that we can to ensure that the actions that we make are based on, what our citizens would like to see. So personally, I feel like the town does a great job, but there's always room to do a better job on citizen engagement. And so let's start off with Doris. What are some of the ideas you may have to encourage citizen engagement, whether it be at the town council meetings or through our surveys or just through some of the work that the town is doing?
Thank you, Doug. To believe it, since I signed that application and said I was going to run for town council, I've been telling everybody, come to the town meetings. They are so interesting. At least you can see what the town officials are doing for the town. To me, I just think it's great. Now, yes, there is room for improvement with different things. Yes, and I'll mention that later. But I just telling people. I tell my whole church, they tired of me talking about the town of Relevant. But they will get even more because I'm going to keep them involved. I'm going to keep them engaged as long as I'm there in that seat for the town council. I tell everybody about what the town is doing. That's just encouraging about me. That's my nature. It's anybody that I come in contact with. Be a part of the town. You've got it so available that they can look at it on live screen. I mean, just open up the computer. If you don't have a computer, read your paper. If you don't have that, Doug is right there. He can answer your questions. And the mayor, I can't even talk about him as much as I want to. But yes, I will encourage people to become a part of the town that we live in.
Stan, what about you? Any ideas you may have around citizen engagement? And I know you talked a lot about some of the civic groups that you're a part of. So,
well, first of all, I think the town's probably doing the best job with citizen engagement that I ever recall. Just through social media meetings just like this. It helps everyone know what's going on. But the thing I think the town can do the most to help citizen engagement is provide the town with doable projects. And we're doing that. I think a perfect example is Purple Martin Trail and Kiwanis Park. It's amazing the number of our citizens who've turned out and said, hey, I want to help. I want to be a part of this. It maybe it's something as simple as buying a brick to go in Kiwanis Park, up to donating tens of thousands of dollars towards various projects in Kiwanis Park and on the trail. So, kind of like the old movie, if we build it, they will come. If we provide things for the town, our citizens will get behind it and become engaged.
Absolutely. Mayor, I think like Doris said, sometimes you are the face of community engagement. What are some of the things that maybe you've thought about for, increasing citizen participation?
I think it's the things that our two candidates just mentioned. I thoroughly endorse involvement in the community. Our citizens needs to see us, not just hear us, but they need to see us and have an opportunity to talk to us, ask us questions, ask us our opinion. But also it gives us an opportunity to see them, ask them questions, get their opinions. But this is a great community in which we live in. I am very thankful for our citizens. All the many projects that we have initiated in the town and gotten so much participation from our citizens speaks highly of the people that live here. But our citizens needs to see our involvement in community, and that way they will know that we're serious. We're serious about this business, and we're serious about the town of Roseland. And two, I want to thank you, Doug, and Magnolia, your involvement, the things that you do, the things we're out there putting our feet on the ground and in the dirt up at the garden. That means a lot to our citizens when they see us doing things instead of on video telling people what we expect of them. We shouldn't expect less of ourselves than what we ask our citizens to do. So I think it's our involvement is extremely important. And like I said, Doug, you and Magnolia just keeping those ideas coming for us, and the ideas you come up with involvement, I think those are extremely important for our community.
All right, so we've got one more, formality question, kind of town council question. But we thought this morning that we'd kind of mix things up a little bit. So we're going to play a little wild card question round real quick. Maybe call it the lightning round of getting to know your candidates. So first question is, what is your favorite dish from a Rutherfordton restaurant? So let's start with Stan on this one.
I would have to go with a pizza from Flyboy Pizza. Used to be we had to go out of town to get a good pizza, but that's not the case anymore.
Doris, what about you?
Well, Stan, you stole this, so I'm going to do another one. I like Main Street Market. Their subs are the bomb up there. And they're fresh. And I like that.
And Mayor, what about you?
I've been in this business long enough to know that questions like this are not successful answers, irregardless of what you say. So I am going to take the chicken way out and say every place I attend, that is my favorite dish of the day. Now, if I tried to take down every one of them, I'd be here for quite a while. They're all great. And to think about it, we've got some more coming that we can't even talk about. So I'm excited about that and haven't even eaten there yet. So I gained from experience. Thank you, sir.
All right, carrying on with the wild card round. What's your favorite song to listen to as you go up and down Main Street? Let's start this one with you, Doris. How about that?
I'm a gospel singer, so I listen to gospel music all the time. So that's not a specific song. There is, Yes, Jesus Loves Me. I'll always love that one. But I'm a gospel singer, so I listen to gospel music. And
Stan,
it always plays on my radio.
Stan, what about you?
I would have to say anything but Bob Seger. I'm a big Bob Seger fan. So.
And Mayor?
As a grandparent, when your grandchildren have favorites, that tends to be your favorite. So whenever I'm around Jackson a lot. We're going somewhere. He loves country music, so I listen to that with him. And probably his favorite right now, and mine too, is by Old Dominion. I was on a boat that day, and to top that off, recently I was down at the Equestrian Center about a month ago when they had their music festival. Old Dominion was one of the acts that they had down there. So I got to hear and see that live, and I videoed for him and brought it home, and he appreciated that. But he loves, and now I love country music.
That's great. All right, last one for the lightning round. We'll start this one with Stan. Stan, what is your favorite memory around being associated with the town of Rutherfordton? Oh, looks like maybe Stan froze up for a second. So let's move that one over to Doris, and we'll come back to Stan. So Doris, what's your favorite memory around the town of Rutherfordton?
Well, yeah, I'm going way back. I thought about that. There's a lot of favorite memories. years ago, Doug, I don't even know if you was in this county. Mayor, I don't even know you was in this county. But back in, I guess, 67, 68, when they had the parades in town, there was one particular favorite of mine. That was Carver High School. They came down the middle of Main Street and everybody was so excited. That band could not come down fast enough because the crowd kind of met them before they even came down the street. That's one of my favorites. Another one is real recently. We done the youth leadership program, and Doug, you and Mayor was right there, and the gentleman, I can't think of his name, Chief, showed us the inside of that fire truck. And Doug, you put that uniform on so quickly, and I showed it to the kids, and we just couldn't believe how fast you put that fire department uniform on. Those things I will always remember. Those kids got the busiest, the most excitement out of you putting that uniform on. They couldn't believe you put it on less than 2 minutes.
Oh, it was less than a minute. It was probably like 40 seconds or so. I mean,
so quick. Yeah.
It was lightning fast.
Yeah. I like that. Thank you.
Stan, I think we had some technical difficulties. Looks like you're back. What is one of your favorite Rutherton memories?
I started out saying the parades were much larger back then. And Doris, you're exactly right. Carver, a crowd favorite. So thoroughly enjoyed the Christmas parades. Huge, had thousands of people turned out.
Oh my God, yes.
And in conjunction with that, on Christmas Eve, Owen Stamey would give away a new Cadillac each. And there would be literally thousands of people. Because you had to be president to win. Drawing for that. So that's some of my favorite.
All right, Mayor, you're up.
Well, I do not have as much experience as our two previous speakers, but I do remember whenever I talk to young people, especially, but in reality, anybody I ever talk to, I am honored and proud to tell everybody that we are celebrating our 234th birthday this year. 9 years ago, we celebrated in a very spectacular way our 225th. We had something going on, an event every month for the whole year. That was quite an experience, but I think we brought a lot of attention to our community to let them know of the proud history that we have in our community. And it's quite remarkable when we tell people that our age, because there's not too many places that can tell any more than that. As we tell everybody about our tallest Christmas tree, not too many people can outdo us on our Christmas tree. The same way on the age of our community. But I am proud of our history, heritage, and I am deeply honored as I think about all the people that traveled this land before us and made it possible for us to be here this morning, and proud to be a part of it. And that's special to me.
All right, one last question before we kind of, what I would like to do, we'll go through this last question and then we'll go back through each one of the candidates and give them a time to kind of close their thoughts and kind of let them give you an opportunity to learn more about their platform and why to vote for them. So, Stan, let's start with you on this question. What's one of the things you see as a challenge that is facing the town of Rutherfordton? And if you have an idea, what are some of the ways maybe that you've thought about trying to combat that challenge, or just simply the challenge itself?
Well, I'm a silent record on this one because this is the same challenge that I brought up 12 years ago and 8 years ago and 4 years ago. Hopefully this time it's finally about that's the 221 bypass. Finally, it looks like is about to be constructed. And that's going to be quite a challenge to the town of Rutherford. How are we going to turn that bypass into a positive for a town rather than a negative? because we'll suddenly have a tremendous amount of traffic that will bypass Rutherford altogether. And I think we can help that by through signage, the beautification, of making people aware of what we have to offer. And why do I want to get off the bypass and come into Rutherford to eat dinner when I'm on my way to, or what is there in Rutherford? Stop and shop 30 minutes while I'm passing, that sort of thing. So I think that's still our biggest challenge. How are we going to deal with the bypass and turn it into a positive? It doesn't have to be a negative. It can help us. We've had a lot of conversation recently about all the transfer truck traffic coming through town that's not supposed to, and police are working diligently to cut down on that. Bypass will solve that problem. So it's not going to be all bad. We just got to make sure that the other factors pertaining to the bypass have them work in our favor and not against us. Other than that, I think something the town needs to focus on going forward is beautification. There's a lot of things we can do that are not terribly expensive. Spruce Rutherford up a good bit. Not so much Main Street, but some of the other streets. We have successful businesses along Central Street, Tom Street, but let's be honest, it doesn't look very good back there. There's a lot we can do to get rid of some of the wires and poles and conduit and get the building painted uniformly and just spruce the place up. So if someone from the Equestrian Center comes in town tonight, they don't think, oh, I'm in the ghettos. They think, hey, I'm in Rutherford. It's a beautiful place.
Doris, what about you?
Well, I'm very new at this, but I can say I think the challenge, not really facing it, but I think the challenge you have addressed is to go into the New Hope community and the Fairview community and see the needs of the citizens there. I don't really think that it's going to be much of a challenge. I think the process just needs to be starting and completed so that the citizens of those two areas can feel like someone is working on their side. Another challenge, I want to get back out and do some outside things. So I think the going and get your COVID test and your vaccination, I think that helped us up from doing the Fall Fest. There's a lot of, there's a lot of announcements at Public Works that the information is there, the testing, the sites are there. If we would just go out and get our test done and get the vaccination, I think we can get back out and enjoy the sites that we have here in Relton County. That is a challenge that we're facing right now. So if we don't go and get our vaccination, or if we don't go get our test done, we'll never get back outside and do any outside activities in our county. And that can hinder us. That can hinder us a lot. So those are the things I like to talk about. Also, I think that we may need to open up the applications for, I don't know, recruit more minorities in our town. Put the faces out there so that they can be a part of all of these great projects that we're doing. I think that's a challenge that we may need to look at in the future.
Awesome. Mayor, from your seat at the mayoral dais, what are some of the challenges that you see?
Well, I agree with what Stan and Doris both said. I am, as difficult as it is, I personally feel if you are not seeing challenges, you're doing something wrong because you're hiding from reality. Every department that we have, as hardworking as they are and dedicated people that they all have their own personal challenges that they face each and every day. We're very fortunate to have qualified people that are in charge of those areas that gives you confidence that we're working to lessen that challenge each and every day. I agree with Stan about the bypass. It's funny to say, but it is true. We're as close as we have ever been to getting that started. And we really don't know what it's going to present to us. But yet we started talking about this a long time ago about how to face it and what to do about it. Now, as Stan said, it's going to hopefully solve the problem about trucks. But what else is it going to create? So we'll work with that. The challenges of our sidewalks or business, keeping people in. We want everybody to survive. That we want everybody to be successful. Whatever business you want to put in town or come to our community, we want you to be successful. We're going to try to do our best to help you every way we possibly can. Bringing new housing, extremely important. Give people places to live and become a family in our town. That will always be a problem, a challenge for us. But, to me, it's, even though it's difficult, I love challenges because I know we've got the right people in the right places to help solve and get us going in the direction. Does it solve the problems? We'll continue to work until we can make a change. But I am very confident we have the people to do that. And I'm honored to be a part of this council and the people that are in our department heads to face those problems. And the thing about it too, there's one other challenge. There's challenges of the unknown. 3 years ago, we'd never heard of COVID. What it has changed our life. What challenge that was, we did not necessarily prepare for it, but we had the people to prepare once it happened. So that's important to have the proper people in the proper places to face that unknown challenge that's going to come down the road. What's the next one? We've got the people to work with it. Thank you.
All right, as we kind of wrap up, I want to be able to give each one of the candidates an opportunity to kind of some closing thoughts, closing statements, if you will, and an opportunity for them to speak. But before I do that and turn it over to the candidates, just a reminder: each one of the candidates on here is up for election for the Rutherford Town Council. Election day is Tuesday, November the 2nd. And the polling place for Rutherford this year is the County Annex Building at 289 North Main Street. It's the place where the county commissioners meet, right across, or kind of diagonal across from, right next to the Presbyterian Church. So, also the one-stop voting schedule, and we'll drop a link on the Facebook chat for the one-stop schedule too. But one-stop early voting is actually open today at the Board of Elections at 298 Fairground Road. They're open every day, Monday through Friday, this week, next week, and the week after. So the week of the 18th, the week of the 25th, they are open every morning at 8:30 to 5 for early voting. And then next, or Saturday the 30th is the only Saturday that's open for one-stop voting. So you've got Monday the 18th through Friday the 22nd. You've got Monday the 25th through October the 30th, which is that Saturday, every day from 8:30 to 5. That Saturday, though, is from 8 o'clock to 3. So don't be trying to show up at 4 o'clock there. But again, we'll put that schedule on there. Plenty of opportunities to early vote, and then voting day at the normal precinct there on Main Street. And then lastly, I'd be remiss if I did not make a mention. Last week, we had a wonderful show with and kind of talked through the Roots of Hope dinner. Today is your last day to buy tickets for the Roots of Hope event to ensure that you have access to one of those dinners. All of the proceeds for that is split evenly between Rutherford Roots in the community garden and Blue Ridge Hope, who is also going to be doing some outreach through the garden and in the garden. And so we thank both of those groups, but today is your last day to buy those tickets. And I'm sure Magnolia is already on the process of dropping those comments or the links to all those in the comments. So with that, Doris, we started off with you, and let's maybe start with the closing process with Stan. Stan, kind of talk us through just your kind of closing thoughts around the election and your candidacy.
Sure. Of course, election up soon. I think I've proven myself over the past 12 years. What you see is what you get. I would like to continue. Town council is not an individual effort. No member of the council can accomplish much of anything alone. It takes a dedicated team of individuals who can work together to make things happen. And I feel like I've been blessed the past 12 years to be part of such a team, and I feel like I can continue to do that, be a good team member going forward. So I look forward to that. I was told 12 years ago when I first ran that whatever you do, don't promise anyone anything, because as an individual council member, you can't deliver. But, I didn't listen to that advice, and I'm not going to listen to it now. I will. Rather see the same thing I've always promised. That is, every decision, every vote I can will be what I feel is the long-term best interest of Rutherford. And
Can't ask for much more of a better promise than that, for sure. And that's one that you definitely can stand back up to, for sure. Doris, what about you? Closing thoughts, closing comments?
Well, I'm just going to make it very simple. I want you to go out and vote for Doris Crute for the town council of Rutherfordton. We can learn more together. We can grow better together, and we can be better citizens of Rutherfordton town. So go vote for Doris Crute on November the 2nd. Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, but Mayor, your closing thoughts around this fall's election and upcoming terms.
Well, first of all, thank you and Magnolia again for getting us on air and making this possible today. And I hope it's been beneficial to our citizens. A lot of them can go in afterwards and see it if they're not able to join us live today. But thank you. I thank Doris and Stan for being with us. I thank them for their vote of confidence in wanting to be a part of our town council. Hey, it's been an honor for me to serve on the council and as mayor of the town of Rutherfordton. As I look back, never had I ever planned on running for town council or even a mayor. It just happened at the time. I got started on council because I was part of committees in the town, and I come to town council to report, and that's how I got interested in government. Never planning on being a council member, but it happened. And then even as mayor, when I was a council member, I never did have any plans of being a mayor, but Sally Lesher was an outstanding mayor. I'd be serving with her today had she decided to continue to run, but she decided to start taking care of her grandchildren. So it gave me an opportunity. I love this community. I love our people. I love to be a part of it. And the things I do is for the community. It just so happens I do it as a mayor. So I thank you for your commitment. Go out and vote. Early voting, as Doug said, actually started yesterday. I talked a while ago about taking Jackson around to do stuff, meet people, and remember how things are important. And today he will be going with me to vote. So we will continue that process. So thanks again to everybody tuning in and watching.
Well, on behalf of the entire staff here at Town Hall, we thank our candidates. We thank you for your engagement. We thank you for your candidacy and putting yourself out there in a position where, while sometimes your intention is to do great things, maybe some people don't appreciate that all the time. It's been a very tumultuous environment nationwide for elected officials, and sometimes people don't really understand how vastly important our local elected officials are in the day-to-day decisions that truly affect our lives and the quality of life in our communities. And so I just want to say thank you to the three of you for your leadership and for running for town council. I wish you all the best of luck in the election process and look forward to working with you after the election. Like I said before, today is your last day to get your Roots of Hope harvest tickets. Harvest dinner tickets. And this is kind of the tail end of Fire Prevention Week as well for our fire department. I want to thank our team over there. They have been very active this week in visiting the schools where they can. They have been out at our preschools and daycare centers and private schools in town and doing a lot of outreach and community good, starting that fire education and fire prevention at a young age, so that that it's carried through their adult life of ways to safely put out a fire and to evacuate from a home, and how to think through those emergencies that we never want to experience. And so I want to thank our entire team at the fire department. It truly does take a team in order to do the amount of outreach they've done in the last few days. So I want to thank them here. And if you are looking for ways to do some outreach for fire prevention, please shoot us a message here on Facebook. Reach out to Wendy Craig, who's our division chief for fire prevention at the fire department. She's got all kinds of great materials and giveaways. If you're looking to maybe do something for homeschool, or maybe your child didn't get something in the classroom, or grandson, granddaughter didn't get something in the classroom this year, reach out to Wendy. She can give you some information to provide. There are some great, kids activities, but some very relevant information too around fire safety. So with that, those are the only announcements I had, and I'm going to turn it back over to Mayor Dancy to close us out for today.
Thank you, Doug. And just a few things to house cleaning ventures before we close. Again, thank you and Magnolia for getting us on every Friday morning at 8:30. I encourage people to check in each Friday and see what's going on, and we'll try to bring as much interesting subjects to you as possible. Next, Doug mentioned about ordering the dinners. Be sure to do that if you haven't. That is a great way to support those two ventures. Go in, if you don't have a big family, anything, go in and order one if they're still available. Also, you will have to take the opportunity to vote for your favorite person on there. And obviously one of them is in view this morning, Magnolia. Go sure and vote for her, and she'll win the big prize. And so you have an opportunity to vote for Magnolia, but help support. And that is another way that we can support this community. Go in there, buy a dinner, give it to somebody if you don't want it. But take opportunity, and you can throw a few extra dollars in there also. Second thing is, I want to take this opportunity. Coming up November is when we will be swearing in our new council. Also, it is an opportunity to say thank you to Mr. Terry Cobb. Mr. Cobb served our council for many years, and I've been a part of council for 20 years. And I can honestly say there has not been any stronger voice for the youth in our community than Mr. Terry Cobb. He always had comments to make, and we leaned on him a lot concerning Crestview Park. And so he's very instrumental. I hope he continues to be a voice in our community. He is another one of those doers and not a pointer. And so, Mr. Cobb, thank you for your service to our community, and thank you for what you meant to our council. So it was a great honor for all of us to serve with you. Again, thanks everyone for joining us. Been a great morning. Join us again next Friday morning at 8:30. We'll be both surprised at what we're doing. So Doug never tells me until at the last minute. So I'm surprised just like you are. So tune in next week, find out what our program is. Thank you, and everybody have a great day and a safe day this day and this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. getting back up on my feet.